Hello, citizens of the Nightiverse. It is Nige here once again, and welcome to another tier list video. First things first, I hope you enjoy my pajamas I got here. But also, today's tier list subject is one of my favorite comic book characters, the Cape Crusader, the Dark Knight, Batman. Batman is probably one of my absolute, like I said, one of my absolute favorite characters. Been reading him since I was a little kid. I've been watching a lot of his stuff since I was a little kid. The movies, TV shows, stuff like that. And finally, this is the first DC like character tier list. Batman's not really a superhero. He's a detective, mainly because he doesn't have any superpowers unless you count incredibly dumb luck. But nevertheless, we got Batman here. We got a lot of attires for him, and we have our tiers down here. So, right off the bat, no pun intended, but right off the bat, um, this was a little difficult to come up with because I forgot how similar a lot of his attires look. But he does have some ones that vary wildly, but some that don't vary that much. But nevertheless, we got our tiers here. So, in our top tier, we have the Dark Knight, which means really awesome look, really fantastic look, really a really good looking suit, really good looking attire. In A tier, it's not quite Dark Knight tier, but it's still really, really good and really, really cool. In B tier, B tier is like our like middle of the road, not great, but not like horrible. C tier is like almost at the bottom. One or two things keeping you out of the bottom of the barrel, and at the bottom we have Bat Lane because it's terrible, and of course that's the nickname the Joker has for Batman, and it goes with Bat Lane and Slavin, his nicknames for Batman and Robin. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, starting off with our first gear, we have the Detective Comics in place of Bruce Wayne, the wealthy social figure, the Batman. And this is like his original, like his first costume, his first like attire. Not gonna lie, I I feel like I've been kind of harsh on a lot of these early attires because this one, for the most part, it doesn't look great, but like, um, at the same time, it's like first, and usually the first gears are gonna start off pretty crap, but I have to look at it objectively as possible, and it looks really weird. Like the bat logo looks so small. The tights, which he's had for a while, are like really really high, ridiculously oversized belt. He's got the gloves. He would have like purple gloves as well, but the gloves look kind of weird, and the cowl looks all skinny and everything. And man, he would come a long way. But I'm sorry, but I gotta give the Detective Comics suit the C tier. I'm sorry, I know. Oh, first attire and everything. Um, you're not gonna get hit it out of the park with your first attire, but I should probably prepare the other tiers as well. Just do a little. Yeah, I know you're usually not gonna knock it out of the park with the first design for like a character, or there may be some rare exceptions, but yeah, that's definitely not it. Batman, I'm sorry, you are starting off with a C tier, unfortunately, but thankfully it gets better from here, or for the most part. Next up, we have Gotham by Gaslight, which what I heard was a really really cool comic. But as for the gear itself, it looks kind of cool. It kind of has like that Victorian England sort of vibe to it, and he's got like the goggles and everything. I forget the exact like story behind Gotham by Gaslight, but it probably won't matter too much. I'm looking purely at the gear here, and it looks pretty cool. It and I can tell they replicated it for the Batman vs Superman movie, where they had sort of a similar look for Batman in that movie. Of course, I may similar to like Spider Man, I may look at like media costumes where it's like stuff like movies, TV shows, video games, and stuff. But based off this one, you can tell it was kind of the inspiration for that kind of look that they gave him. Not like the regular bat suit, but more like the it looked more like a war suit, who I believe is called like the Nightmare look for Batman in the Batman vs Superman movie, a movie which I have not seen by the way. But you can tell that was kind of the inspiration for that, and it's got the Bat logo. Oh, and it looks more like it looks closer to like regular clothing as opposed to like the traditional bat suit, but it still looks pretty cool. So I think I'll put it in B. So Gotham by Gaslight redeems itself. Like I said, it's gonna get better from here. So I'm gonna put Gotham by Gaslight in B tier. Next up is the Long Halloween, and not gonna lie, this is a pretty cool gear, and I think what separates I think what like makes the a lot of the gear stand out a lot of times is that there's extra stuff going on, such as here Batman looks very muscular, but and his cape is all torn and everything. But the Long Halloween, another really good story. I heard was really good, but I haven't checked out yet. Plus, apparently some of it was the inspiration for the Batman Arkham Knight video game. But looking at the costume, it looks really, really cool. It looks very standard for like a Batman costume, sans cape and everything, at least in this image. But I think the muscle really helps it out a little bit. But I think the Long Halloween I'm going to put in B as well. So the Long Halloween is going in B tier. Ooh, maybe I should have looked at that for the Halloween movies. Doesn't count. Maybe, I guess. But next up is The Killing Joke. Now this is based on how it looks in the animated movie, based on the comic. I tried to find as clean of an image as possible for the comic, but sadly this was the best I could come up with that showed like the whole gear, or as much of the gear as possible. But again, it looks pretty standard, and not as much muscle definition as like the Long Halloween here, but it still looks pretty good for the most part. Right, so I think I'll also put The Killing Joke. I was really not gonna lie. I may rewatch it again to review it for my channel, but subscribe by the way if you want to see that. But I was a bit disappointed with how this like animated movie turned out. I gotta read the comic because again, another really good comic from what I heard, but the movie was kind of disappointing. Next up is The Dark Knight Returns, and definitely a switch up. For starters, Batman is more muscular here. He's definitely a lot wider, a lot bulkier in the Dark Knight Returns comics, and I feel like a lot of the designs for the Dark Knight Returns were hit or miss. Like Batman's design, I think looked really really cool in the Dark Knight Returns, but like Superman and Wonder Woman did not look as good in the Dark Knight Returns, in my opinion. But he's got the muscular look. He's got a different bat logo, which looks closer to how they did for for Ben Affleck's Batman in the Batman vs Superman movies or the DC Extended Universe. But it still looks pretty cool. So I think I might put this in. Do I put it in B or A? I think. You know what? I think I'll put it in A. So the Dark Knight Returns. I think I put it in A over the Long Halloween, which is also muscular, because it switches up the style even more. Where this looks more like a traditional bat suit, but here it switches up the logo. Oh, and it also looks a bit grittier in my opinion. But so yeah, that one's going in A for me. Next up is Earth 3 Batman, which I believe this is Thomas Wayne, if I'm not mistaken. But this one's really cool. I like the red cape, the red Batman logo, similar to what we see with the Dark Knight Returns Batman. But I think this one I'm also gonna put in A. I really like the red. I feel like Batman attires with like red, with like the red logos and everything. I think look, nope, do not open calendar or close, please, thank you. But I feel like the reds really help out attires a lot. But that's my opinion. At least with like Batman attires. Next up is the Batman Incorporated suit. This one looks pretty cool. I like how the tights are gone on, and the ears are shorter, or which sometimes I think people prefer longer ears. Some people prefer shorter ears. Me, I feel like I do kind of like longer ears, but shorter ear. Or Batman also looks pretty cool. And I like the emblem, how it's in like a circle this time, and how it's actually looks like a separate piece on the suit. And the more square fins on the side. I think sometimes can look pretty cool, and it looks pretty cool here. And the boots look really good as well. So I think Batman Inc. I'm also going to put in A tier. It's a really good looking attire, in my opinion. Next up is going to be Dick Grayson as Batman. Yes, Dick Grayson, Nightwing, was Batman for a while, and I think this is a result of the Battle for the Cowl storyline, and where like Bruce Wayne died, so Dick Grayson and Jason Todd fought for the mantle of Batman. Dick Grayson won out, and he was Batman for a little while. And I had a story, comic called like Long Shadows, which I believe was part of it. Yeah, that, or it took place after the events of Battle for the Cowl, where Dick Grayson was like being Batman and everything, and there was some differences. Like Two Face was able to pick up on the fact that, wait, this ain't Batman. He's a lot lighter on his feet. He's smiling more. He's posing for the cameras and everything, which is more Nightwing's thing. Nightwing, as opposed to like Batman, is a bit like more cocky and a bit more like flashy and everything. So Two Face was able to pick up on, wait, that's not the original Batman. But as for the Batsuit itself, I think it looks pretty cool. I like the blue design. I feel like blue designs for Batman and sometimes can look really good as well. Well, just as good as like the black design, and I think it works here. And the gray, which has kind of a bluish hue to it, looks really good as well. So I think Dick Grayson's design as Batman. Oh, also I do like how the belt also is like a bat shape. But I think this one I am putting in B. So Dick Grayson as Batman, I am going to put in B as well. Next up is going to be New 52. Not gonna lie, I have always been a big fan of this one. I honestly don't know why, but I've always really liked this suit. Looks kind of big, kind of cool, kind of menacing a little bit. I like the gloves and everything, and the belt looks really cool. No tights, and the boots look really nice. For some reason, I've always liked the New 52 design. So I think, you know what? Is this our first? You know what? This is gonna be our first Dark Knight look. I really like the design of the New 52. Something about it just. And remember, these are all my opinions, so if you disagree, that's totally fine. But something about the New 52 design looks really, really cool, and I really, really like. Next up is Rebirth. I also really like this Batsuit. I like how the design is like black and yellow this time, and how there's a yellow outline to the bat symbol. The boots look really cool, the gloves are really cool, and the cowl looks pretty cool. And I like how there's more of a purplish hue now under the cape, so it really makes it stand out. So 2 Dark Knight looks in a row for Batman. So this is also going in the Dark Knight. So the Rebirth look is going in the Dark Knight tier. Now, say what you will about the comics, but I feel like the costumes are really, really cool. The Batman Who Laughs, though, also a Dark Knight tier for a completely different reason, because he looks absolutely psychotic. Like, the first time I saw this design, man, this is a look. How it looks really menacing, looks really chaotic, kind of like the perfect fusion between like Batman and Joker, which they took Batman and Joker teaming up to try to take down the Batman Who Laughs. But this is a really cool look. It looks so metal. It's part of the DC metal line, if I'm not mistaken, of comics. But this one's definitely also the Dark Knight tier. The Batman Who Laughs, really cool design. It's still kind of a newer design, but It's a design that a lot of people have fallen in love with. Also, shout out to Noob Saibot getting a skin based off the Batman Who Laughs in Mortal Kombat 11, especially because Joker was a guest character. Next up is Nightfall, slash like Azrael's Batman suit, and not gonna lie, I want to like this. There's quite a bit going on. This looks vastly different from a lot of the suits we've looked at. But I feel like here there's a little bit too much going on. I feel like the blue was a choice, but I feel like there is a lot going on. There's a lot of spikes and everything, which Azrael, a bit more like lethal than like regular Batman and everything. But I feel like the spikes really don't like. Usually spikes are pretty cool as we see here, but I feel like they kind of overdo it here. And the blue, who was a choice. It was a choice for sure. I feel like this probably would work better in either black or like red. But because Azrael usually has like a red attire, but I feel like here it doesn't really work as well. I could appreciate the attempt, but I'm not really feeling this. So sadly, I gotta put this one in C. I don't know if it's bad enough to be in Bat Lame, but I'm just not really feeling it. But again, my opinion. So next up is Batwing, and this is a really cool attire. See, I feel like the problem with this one is it's trying to be a little too different to the point where it kind of overdoes it. But I think this one they pull it off a lot more. Or I like how it definitely has the armored look. It's got the glow effect with like the blue and everything, and it looks very futuristic and stuff. So it looks really really cool, and it looks similar to an attire that we'll see later on. But I feel like Batwing, which is not Bruce Wayne, it's a totally different person. But I think Batwing, I don't know if I'll put in. Do I want to put in Dark Knights here? No, I'll leave it in A, but it's still a really, really cool attire. But the attire it reminds me of is Batman Beyond. It seems so simple of an attire, but it looks so cool. And a lot of people seeing it for the first time really fell in love with how vastly different it looks from like Batman attires we've seen with like the red and the red bat logo and the helmet and everything. It just looks so cool. Oh, so Batman Beyond is also gonna be in A tier. It's a really really cool look. And Batman Beyond is definitely a show I want to check out. Sadly, I kind of missed it growing up, but I definitely want to check it out. Next up is The Brave and the Bold, and this is based off like the TV show they had on Cartoon Network. But this one I think is pretty cool for the most part. It's definitely got like the cartoony look to it. But I can't harp on it too much because it's more so made for like a younger audience. But I do really like the designs for the most part. I do like a mix of like the blue and black and everything, and how it has that cartoony look to it. So I think this one, I think I'll at least put it in B. So really cool design, really cool look in my opinion, and pretty like cartoony look, but still really really fun, and they made comics based off of it. Next up is, and I don't know if I'll look at it again when I do like the media related Batman. I feel like that'd be kind of unfair, but I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments below if you think it should still go in there, and depending on what you guys say, I will oblige. But next up is Earth 2. This this attire is really really cool, and I like the red belt and the sort of sectioned off area with the red logo and everything. I think that looks pretty cool. And it's otherwise all black attire. Do I like it as much as like Earth 3? I don't think so, but it's still really cool, so I'll at least give it B tier. So Earth 2, Batman is going in B tier. Still really really cool in my opinion. Next up, Zur-En-Arrh. This was definitely a gamble for a Batman attire, or a lot more colorful than what we've seen with previous attires. How they managed to make it look still somewhat menacing with this color scheme is actually kind of impressive. With like the red and the yellow and the purple. Well, on Batman, it shouldn't look cool, but at least here, it looks pretty cool for the most part. Right, so you know what? Props them for trying and at least making it try to look somewhat entertaining. So, I will be generous and give it a B tier. Here. Next up is Hush, and this looks similar to a lot of like. It looks similar to like your standard Batman attire, except a bit more of a blue this time around. And we still got the Bat logo, we got the cool looking belt and everything, and kind of like basic stuff. But I think it works for the most part. So I think that I will put in B tier. Another really good comic. Really a lot of good Batman comics I haven't read, and I haven't read comics in quite a while. I gotta brush up on my comic knowledge, but. Next up is the Green Lantern suit. Who, yes, Batman was a Green Lantern for a time. I believe he was a Green Lantern during the Brightest Day storyline. I mean, but I'm not entirely sure. I could be wrong on that, and if I am, please let me know. But in terms of his look as Green Lantern, I do like how it kind of looks similar to like Hal Jordan's Green Lantern look, but more Batmanized. Batmanized, if that makes any sense, if that's even a term. But it still looks pretty cool for the most part. I think I'll at least give it a B. So Green Lantern attire for Batman, I'll give it, or Green Lantern suit, I'll give it B. And finally, the Yellow Lantern suit. Batman was also a Yellow Lantern. And this looks similar to Sinestro's attire. So, I think what they did is they used like the popular suits for like popular Green Lantern and Yellow Lantern, respectively. And in the Green Lantern's case, it's Hal Jordan. In the Yellow Lantern's case, it's Sinestro, and pretty much like Batmanized them. So, I think this one I'll also put in. I'll also put in B tier. I feel like in terms of like. Lantern colors, I feel like the yellow probably suits Batman a little bit more, but still pretty okay for the most part. So there you have it. Those are our attires ranked. So in the Dark Knight tier, just to like recap, in Dark Knight tier we have New 52, Rebirth, and the Batman Who Laughs. In A tier we have the Dark Knight Returns, Earth 3, Batman Inc., Batwing, and Batman Beyond. In B tier, we have Gotham by Gaslight, The Long Halloween, The Killing Joke, Dick Grayson, The Brave and the Bold, Earth 2, Zur-En-Arrh, Hush, Green Lantern suit, and Yellow Lantern suit. And in C tier, we have Detective Comics and Nightfall. Oh, and once again, the Bat Lane tier is empty. So for the second tier list in a row, the first one being Edge, which if you haven't already, go check that out. But for the second tier list in a row, the bottom tier is empty, which is interesting. But nevertheless, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, tier list, I should say. But if you did enjoy this tier list or this video, please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. Turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video so you can see it as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments below your favorite and least favorite Batman attires, and I will see you guys later. Peace.